So really happy to be here. Really happy to be able to represent our team. Proud of speaking in a way what we have achieved, and obviously in a way I see that this is just the beginning. 10 years of a birthday, but 370 years of history here at Fiskars Group. Today we are really going to focus on how do we future-proof a business with such a long history. Like Ian already said, there are kind of a few facts maybe that I need to go through about Fiskars Group, because some of you might know us, some of you don't. But there's certainly some brands in our portfolio that should kind of tick the boxes. So we are established in 1649. So like I said, really old company, one of the oldest in Europe, and we are fairly kind of sizable if you look at the companies in Finland. So around 6,000 employees, presence in 30 countries. Our brands are available in a lot of places, 100 countries, and in more than 350 stores. If we look at the portfolio, here are probably some names that you guys should recognize. So if we start from the top, we have Fiskars. That's probably kind of the most known of them all. It at least has the biggest market. Fiskars is known for its scissors, garden equipment, creating tools, and also some things that go into cooking, kitchen, and so forth. Then we have Gerber, a brand based out of the US, very much looking into outdoor activities. How do you kind of survive in the outer surroundings? And then we have really known brands in glassware, porcelain, and crystal, like Iittala, Royal Copenhagen, Waterford, and Wedgwood. So those six that I mentioned before, they are kind of really the biggest brands that sit in our portfolio. Then we have a lot of smaller brands as well that are kind of known in certain kind of markets, but not with such a big global footprint as some of these bigger brands. What we have been good at Fiskars Group traditionally is to really excel in how we execute in either kind of how we build brands, or then obviously if you look at the portfolio, there's beautiful products that go along kind of tens of years or hundreds of years back. And we have also had some great designers, great artists working for us, some really iconic designs that are available on the market that many of you kind of just notice when you look at them and hear that they come from our portfolio. So that's in a way traditionally what we have been good at. Then, in a way, if you look at how do we take all of this to the more modern age, that how do we innovate around something that isn't physical, but rather something kind of more looking towards the future. So here is, in a way, the situation that we had in 2019 when I started myself. We had the long heritage in developing the iconic brands and products, like I just said. Lots of ideas in the organization. So there's a great source of innovation here, and people are really passionate about what they do. But we were lacking a systematic way on how to gather, store, evaluate, and innovate around new business models. So that was missing. And then, like in many other organizations, I mean, Fiskars is no different. The focus was pretty much, and is obviously still on the core, making innovation around new business models quite challenging. So that means that in a way there was some work to be done. But on the other hand, I mean, we had some good traction also around some early service concepts that had been created. So, for example, something called a vintage service, which I will return to a little bit later, had some early success, which was kind of feeding in a lot of energy to the organization. So in 2019, we decided that, hey, let's start something that we call Bruk, and that's a creative lab where ideas take shape. And we are really a kind of hub of innovation and a catalyst for change that bring together people and intelligence across Fiskars Group to really try and test new business models, new innovation together. We are a core team of people with experience in digital, new business models, service design, user experience, and growth hacking. So when we started, these were really like roles that were not that common for people inside the group. And I, for example, hired in the first service designer into Fiskars Group, and also some of the other activities that we are doing are kind of are pretty much new to the people. Very much kind of the work that we are doing is heavily dependent on internal experts. So we are just a kind of small team. So when we are requiring knowledge around the categories that we work with, or need help on some internal processes or something like that, we invite people to the work that we do and provide them the tools, resources, and methodology to develop and test these business models fast. Also relying quite a lot on the extended network that obviously goes outside of Fiskars Group as well. So having people come in and work with us, but that's really like how we want to see ourselves. So it's a hub where people come together. We have the people and the resources, and then we work on ideas and try to get them out on the market and tested with consumers fast. This is maybe something that is familiar to many of you, but there's really three horizons in corporate innovation. We are mostly focusing on horizon 2 and 3. So the first horizon is obviously developing the core. This is what companies do, really working on developing their current categories, opening up new channels, and so forth. We are not that interested in this area, even though we tend to lend a helping hand here now and then. But really what we are looking for is the adjacent and the transformational innovation. So something that is truly stretching our business, or then at some point maybe also disrupting it. So looking at transformative things. So the questions that we might ask then, in a way, when we are working at the adjacent or the transformational things are things like the following. So everyone knows that we have created and sold kitchenware for centuries, and we know that it's really, really nice design. Everyone loves it. Entire generations have been defined by owning specific sets of our products. I think many of us can relate to this. There is probably a moment in your childhood or whatever when your grandmother has served a cake on a specific plate or something like that. So in a way, it's really embedded into people's mind that these are the things that you own. So in a way, you can imagine what then happens when we go and ask the questions from the organization or the people that worked it, that hey, could you imagine a reality where we didn't sell kitchenware anymore? And the faces that we get at kind of asking these questions can vary quite a lot. So these are the type of ideas we then put into the kind of how do we do it part. So again, this is not kind of a strange concept. It's a kind of a basic idea funnel. So where we gather internal ideas. I said we had a lot of internal ideas here. Then we have, of course, the external ideas coming from all sorts of collaborators around. We have strategic ideas, and all of these are then gathered together on a backlog. And Then together with the team, we are then looking at the ideas, prioritizing them according to set criteria. It can be business viability or scalability or something else. And then we select a few of them to get further validated. And and usually here we already at this point of time involve consumers. And this is very different to how we have been working before in Fiskars Group, because before it was very much about getting in a designer, then they designed a series of drinking glasses or something like that, and then at some point of time everything was ready and you pushed the button and went into production. So validating something here with consumers and perhaps also killing it already at this stage is a new thing. A few of the validated ideas then go on to piloting, and we have been running a few pilots with that where we have kind of actual concepts running where consumers pay for the service and so on. I will come to those soon. And after piloting, we then decide whether we are going to scale the business or say no. In all of these phases, we are of course listening, validating with the consumer, and obviously the process is not always this straightforward. So it might be that we are taking one step back in order to be able to take 2 steps forward at some point of time. Here are a few examples of what we've done. So referring back to the questions asked before, so imagining a life without your tableware. So here is just that. We have been piloting a kitchenware service. It's a little bit like a Spotify model where you could where you can get certain sets from us on a monthly fee. It's brands like Iittala, Fiskars, Arabi, and Hackman, where you go into our site, then you select for how many persons you want to have it, and then you get delivered to your home, and then it starts or we start charging from your credit card. After the lease period is done, you can then select whether you're going to continue with the service, change it to some other series, or then maybe also like as a final option, return it or buy it for yourself. A very good reception from end users here. Another one is the vintage service, and that is something that we have been running already now for 2 years. It was rolled out in Iittala stores in 2019 and expanding to Sweden this year. And here the idea is really that consumers bring their own old tableware to us, and we buy them and then resell it, giving it a second life. Consumers have absolutely loved this. Brings great traffic also to stores, and it hits all the buttons that has to do with sustainability. Frying pan for life, another example. All people have scratched pans at home. You can bring your old frying pan for repair to your store. We give it some treatment, a new coating, and then you can save a lot of natural resources and have a pan that is as good as new. The nice thing with this one is that it's also a concept that was winning the Fiskars Innovation Challenge that we ran last year, where a team of people inside of Fiskars Group actually suggested that we should do this. And then together with the Bruk team, we were able to concept and pilot this in 2 months and get it out for consumers to try. Okay, I'm rounding off here. So what's happening next? We have been quite a lot focusing on the internal. So as we speak, we are very much focusing more on how to increase the external collaboration with innovators in different fields. We have heavy focus on things like sustainability, circularity, innovative gardening solutions, emerging consumer behavior, and so forth. Then it's really about changing also the company that we work for, so spearheading the pilot culture inside of Fiskars Group. So really thinking big, starting small and then acting fast, but also remembering to celebrate failures. And all in all, it's about future-proofing Fiskars Group so that we are making sure that we will live for another 370 years at least. And with those words, I think I'm ready with my short presentation. Could of course go on much longer as well, but this was the slot that was given. Hopefully it gave some good insight to you.